8. Today we're going to be talking about percent equations. So the last few lessons we were talking about percents and different ways of finding them. So 2 lessons ago we talked about percent proportions by setting up the 2 proportions and solving for the missing variable. Last lesson we were doing it kind of mentally, or finding some shortcuts to be able to estimate to make things a little bit quicker. In this lesson we're going to be using percents to solve for several different things. The first thing we're going to use our percent equation to solve for the percent of something. So this equation will look like the part equals the percent times the whole. So obviously when you're reading an equation or reading a sentence, you'll know which number is a percent because it'll have the percent sign. Now, how do you know which one's the whole? So basically the whole is the number that is the one that follows the of. Because if we're saying something out of something, we're talking about the whole. So that means the number that comes after the word of is going to be the whole, and then the remainder is the part. And so most of the time it says this number is, so usually is follows after that word, but not always. So an example would be 52% of 85. So that means that we put the 52% in the percent spot, and we multiply it by the whole, which is the of 85. So the 85 will go there, you multiply it together, and you'll get 44 2/10. So we're also going to be using percents to find discounts. So obviously you can see where this is applicable to daily life. So if you're at the store and something's on sale and you want to figure out how much is being taken off of it or find out what the new price is, you will have to use this process. So there are 2 different ways to solve for this. First of all, if you're trying to find the discounted price, you can find the discount or find the percent of the total, and then you subtract that discount from the original price, because basically if in this method you're finding the actual part that is being taken off, and then you have to take it off. So for example, if we were talking about something that the original price is $135 and it has a discount of $25, then that means you're going to go ahead and find 25% of 135, and then you're going to subtract it from 135. So you're finding the discount, and then you're going to subtract it from the original price to find the discounted price. So you would do, the first most important thing that you need to do is change your percent to a decimal, because when it's in percent form, unless you put the percent over 100, you can't use it until you've gotten rid of the percent, whether you made it a fraction or whether you make it a decimal. So I would say move your decimal place 2 places to the left, and so now we have 25 hundredths times 135, and we got $33.75. But we're not done yet because we want to find the discounted price. And so far this is a discount. So we're going to go ahead and now take $33.75 off of 135, and we're going to get the sale price, which is $101.25. So it was originally $135, but with the 25% discount, it is now $101.25. So that's the first way you can solve for a discount. The second way is by first figuring out what you're going to be paying for. So if the discount is 25%, we're going to go ahead and subtract it from 100 to figure out what percent are we actually paying for. So first we're going to go ahead and subtract 25 from 100%, and then we will multiply by the original price. So for example, it would look like 100% minus 25% is 75%. So with a discount of 25%, we're actually only paying for 75% of the item. And then we're going to go ahead and change that 75% into a decimal, and we have 0.75 or 75 hundredths times our original price of 135, and then you get straight to 101.25. So if you kind of want to skip the multiplication then subtraction, you can subtract first and then multiply. It doesn't really matter. You're doing pretty much the same amount of steps, but whichever one makes the most sense to you, go ahead and use that method. That's okay. Alright, the last thing we're going to be doing in this lesson is finding the interest. So basically if you put money in a bank and it's gaining interest, then that means some money is being added on over time. Okay? So basically the formula to find interest is I equals PRT. So the I stands for interest, and then equals the price, so the original price or the original amount you put in, times the rate, and then times the time. So how long is it being in there? Okay. So for example, if we had $1,200 was put in the bank at a rate of 6.5%, how long would it take to earn $195 in interest? So now that we have the equation, we have our problem, we need to go ahead and plug in what we have. So it says $195 in interest, so that means my I is $195. And then I'm going to equal, now what's my price? How much am I putting in? I'm putting in $1,200. And then I'm going to have to multiply by the interest rate. But we can't multiply by 6.5 because that's in percent form. We need to put it in decimal form, so I'm going to move my decimal 2 places to the left. And I'm going to get 0.065. And then we're going to have to multiply by t, the time. So they didn't give us the time or how long it's going to be in there. So that's what we're solving for. So basically you'll multiply these two numbers together and you'll divide it over to solve for your missing variable. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing in this lesson. So let's go ahead and practice a few problems. Alright, let's go ahead and look at the first example. Now, on your homework or on your classwork, whatever you want to do, if you would like, you can go ahead and write the equations or the formulas up on the top of the page so that you can always keep referencing them each time you get to a certain problem. So in this case, I would see that we're doing 15% of 25, which means we need the percent equation. So I would kind of make note to myself that we have the part equals the percent times the whole. So I know I have to set up my equation like that. So first of all, I have 15% of 25. So I know that 15% is my percent. So I'm going to write 0.15. So that's 15% because I moved my decimal over 2 places. And then it says of, so that means multiply, of 25. So now I have it all set up and we're going to solve for the part. So we're going to go ahead and do 0.15 times 25 and we're going to get 375. So that is our missing piece or our missing part. Alright, number 2, it says 20 is what percent of 400? So first of all, I see what percent. So that means I don't know the percent. So my percent is going to be a variable and I'm just going to make it P for percent. And then of 400, so that means I multiply my percent times 400, is going to give us 20. So we can read it as 20 is what percent of 400. So really you have those key words is and of. Both of those tell you what to do. So is means equals and of means multiply. Okay, so then you go ahead and solve by dividing by 400 on both sides. Now the reason why we would divide by 400 is because we're solving for this missing variable p. And p is times 400, so in order to solve for p, we have to undo it from this side and undo it from that side to figure out what our missing variable is. And as soon as we divide, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get 0.05. And that is going to be our missing decimals, and then we're going to go ahead and change it to percent form by moving it 2 places to the left, so it's 5%. So you can leave it in this form, but I would prefer you put it in percent form because we're actually solving for a percent, so we want to change it to a percent. Alright, number 3. It says 18 is 30% of what number? So first of all, I see it says of what number, so that means my whole is going to be missing. So I'm going to have my variable w. And then it says 30%, so I'm going to change it to a decimal by moving the decimal 2 places to the left. So I'm going to have 0.3 times w is equal to the part, which is 18. So 18 is 30% of what number? So now it's time to solve by dividing by 0.3 on both sides. Okay, as soon as we do that, we'll do 18 divided by 0.3, and we're going to go ahead and get 60. Okay, so that's our missing whole. So basically if you do 30% times 60, you'll get 18. Alright, number 4. 79 is 80% of what number? So first of all, I see of what number, so I know that my whole is just our variable because we don't know what it is. And 80%, I'm going to go ahead and move my decimal 2 places to the left. I'm going to get 0.8 and equals 79. So I know I put it in the right spot because I have 79 is 80% of what number. So now I'm going to go ahead and solve for my missing variable. So since we're multiplying here, we want to go ahead and do the inverse operation, which is division. So we're going to divide by 0.8, divide by 0.8, this is going to cancel out, and we're going to get the W is equal to 98.75. Alright, let's go ahead and try one of those problems where we have to go ahead and find the discounted price. So we have the regular price for a digital music player is $69. It is on sale at a 20% discount. Find the sale price. Now I'm going to go ahead and find the sale price two different ways. So the first way, I'm going to go ahead and find the discount and then subtract it from the original. And then in the second way, I'm going to go ahead and find the portion that we're actually paying for and find that percent of the original price, okay? So first of all, in the first way, so way one, okay, we're going to go ahead and do 20%, so 0.2 times 69. So as soon as you do 2/10 times 69, you're going to get 13.8. So basically, this is our discount. So when we're saying 20% off, this is a 20%. Now we need to take it off of the original price. So if we go ahead and take our original price of $69, 69 minus 13.8, you're going to get $55.20. So that's your final price. All right, let's go ahead and try the second way now. So this is way number 2. All right, so this time I'm going to go ahead and subtract 20% from 100%, and I'm going to get 80%. So last time I took the discounted percent and I multiplied that by the original, and then I had to subtract the discount from the original price. Now this time I'm going to go ahead and figure out, well, if 20% is being taken off, I'm only paying for 80% of it. So now I'm going to go ahead and find 80% of the original price, and then that's going to give me my final price. So if I do 80%, which is 0.8, so if we have 0.8 times 69, we're going to get $55.20, just like we did before. So either way you do it, whichever way makes most sense to you, or which way that kind of agrees with you a little bit better, you can do that way. Or you can switch back and forth if you like both ways, because it's good to do things different ways. All right, let's go ahead and look at number 6. It says, suppose Nikki placed $2,400 in the bank for 5 years. After 5 years, she made $552 in interest. Find the annual interest rate. So we're solving for the rate. So first of all, we need to say, okay, we're solving for interest here, so what's my interest formula? So it's I equals PRT. So I standing for interest, P standing for the original price or the principal, times R, which is the rate, and then T is time. So it says find the annual interest rate, so we don't know what the rate is. So we are going to be solving for the R. So first of all, how much did she make in interest? It says $552 in interest. So I have 552 equals my price or my principal, which is $2,400, and we have times R, which we don't know, and then we have times T, which is time, and it says 5 years. So we have times 5 and then times R. So basically, the first thing we want to do is go ahead and do 2,400 times 5. So if I did 2,400 times 5, we're going to get 0, 0, 4 times 5 gives you 20, and then 5 times 2 gives you 10, plus 2 gives you 12. So we have 12,000. So we have 552 equals 12,000 times R. So now since 12,000 is being multiplied by R, we want to go ahead and divide by 12,000 to undo it on both sides to find our missing variable. So we're doing the inverse operation. So we're going to divide on both sides, and we are going to find out that R is equal to 4.6%. Now, you end up getting, when you divide, you end up getting 0.046, and then you move your decimal 2 places to the right to find your percent. So anytime we're talking about the rate, we're talking about the percent. All right? So go ahead and make sure that you've watched this video thoroughly. If you've understood it all, then you can go ahead and move on to the on your own questions. But if you do have more questions, do not be afraid to go back in your book. There are some examples that have already been done for you in there. And as always, bring your questions to me tomorrow, and I'll be happy to answer them. All right, let's go ahead and do the on your own questions. All right, you have 5 problems to do for me. Numbers 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead and use the percent equation to solve for the missing part. Number 4. It says a jacket normally sells for $180, is on sale at a 35% discount. What is the sale price? So go ahead and use the discount formula that we talked about to solve for the missing price. Number 5, it says, how long will it take to earn $252 in interest if $2,400 is invested at a 7% annual interest rate? Go ahead and use the interest formula to be able to solve for that. Good luck. We'll see what you get tomorrow.